Diane Bauman, past president of Concerned Citizens, a nonpartisan organization since 1981. On today's program, Concerned Citizens Speak, we will tell you all about our organization and meet two very interesting Concerned Citizen members. In fact, here comes one of them, Pat Nelson. I'm delighted to have you here today. Welcome, Pat.
Thank you.
Pat, what first attracted you to Concerned Citizens?
Well, I moved into the village with my husband in 1984, and I wanted to participate in a progressive group or club. And Concerned Citizens was then known as Concerned Citizens for Peace. So since I opposed the Vietnam War, I was drawn to their program, and as part of the national peace movement, I was very, very active. And the early focus was on opposing nuclear proliferation.
And there was a national peace movement.
There was a national peace movement.
So tell us about our mission statement, because I understand the name of our organization changed, as did our mission statement.
Yes, it did. Concerned Citizens developed a mission statement which included the emphasis toward working for peace. But peace is related to many other issues and included economic and social justice, a sustainable environment, and good government. So our steering committee held a contest and for a name, so that we can incorporate all those things. And the person that won picked just Concerned Citizens, and that's the way we've been known ever since.
So that was back in?
I wish I could tell you. I was trying to find out.
Oh, but you were on the steering committee.
I've been president 3 times, so I'm a little confused about when that was. But it was really only a few years into our organization. It was probably around well, maybe 1990 or so.
Okay. Now, can you explain to our audience what exactly our organization does, its structure, how we get things done?
I'll try. We have 2 regular meetings every month, September through June, and we show DVDs in July and August. Our speaker meeting is the first Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. in Clubhouse 7. And we have on the 3rd Thursday afternoon either an award-winning DVD or a special topic book review, and that's in Clubhouse 1 at 2 p.m. We encourage questions and comments from our members about any of the events that we have. Now, we're organized by committees. And that may seem dreary, and sometimes it does to us too, but we have a program committee that takes current events and important issues of the day and makes plans for about a year ahead. So we have very, very good people. We have a legislative committee which formulates petitions and postcards to the state and federal dignitaries. We also have a membership committee and a publicity committee, an Earth Day committee, and a committee which coordinates everything, which is our steering committee. We, for example, we can incorporate other clubs when they're about to dissolve or something. We incorporated a club called National, it was People for a National Health Plan, and that was Ted and Beth Rosenbaum, who are no longer with us, but that was a committee that became a committee under our auspices.
They did such incredible work about the health issue.
They did.
And we had some really outstanding speakers.
Yes, we have.
Over the past years. Can you tell us about some of them?
I will be happy to. Some example of speakers in the past have included John Dean. He's of Watergate, you know, you've seen him on TV recently. Because of the current mishmash. We've had Mike Farrell, who is the MASH actor. He came to speak to us against capital punishment. Incidentally, Robert Scheer came many, many years to us, and he may be coming back this January. He'll be here probably the 3rd Thursday in January. And last but not least, Erwin Chemerinsky has been a frequent speaker. Unfortunately, he moved from UCI to Berkeley, but we still have an annual Supreme Court meeting in September.
I remember when he came one day and it was such an overflow audience.
Right, well, he
What
was late.
happened?
Well, he was late. We couldn't find him, and we looked in the parking lot and there was no room. So we had to rescue him and have somebody park his car and bring him in. But that was we filled the auditorium with him that day.
And
That was Erwin Chemerinsky.
what they now call the Performing Arts Center.
That's exactly right.
Right.
Sorry, I'm still with Clubhouse 3.
It's it is hard to make those changes. But we have other meetings that we generally have every year besides the Supreme Court meeting. We generally celebrate Earth Day and what else?
Well, we have Women's Month, Black History Month. We have
The Peace Day.
the
event.
Peace Day that's coming up, that people will hear about in the
Yes.
second half of this program that's coming up. But we actually try to keep our topics very, very current, something that's important. People need to know about what's happening.
That's part of the
Right.
excitement of our organization,
Well, we hope so. We hope so.
because we like to be active with our petitions and legislative know-how
Right.
with what's going on. But we're
But-
going to switch now
All
from
right.
concerned citizens to Pat Nelson,
Right.
because we want to know more about you. Our members need to know each other, and we
Right.
want to hear about your interesting background.
Well, I hope it's interesting. I grew up during World War II, which was very interesting, I guess, if you weren't part of it. But I grew up in Hollywood, and I attended Hollywood High School and graduated. My father was a well-known character actor, Russell Hicks. And I was a middle girl of 5 girls, and I was a reader. I guess it was something for me to do. And I used to read novels, and the villains were always, by the way, gun manufacturers. So I think I learned my politics very early.
Can you say that again?
Oh,
That's
no.
so fascinating.
I have 3 children, 5 grandchildren, all doing well, and I see them occasionally, but I keep busy here anyway. I married early, and I went to school the hard way while raising the family. So I went to El Camino Junior College at night in math. Then I went to Cal State Long Beach in social science, and I got a master's degree at USC. And after moving down here, I went back to Saddleback and got an AA in legal assisting and one in computer software. And I'm very fond of Saddleback, and we're very lucky to have the emeritus teaching here.
Well, it's so interesting to know that early on you were a feminist. I mean, raising a family and going to school at night to continue to learn, that's very special.
Well, I didn't feel like a feminist. I mean, I think
just
we've had
did it.
some. Yes, I just did it. We had people, women who got us the vote many years ago, and I count them as feminists. But I think I was just one of many, many women who wanted to get an education, and because of that, I had an opportunity to work most of my life.
And you also had a very long career. Tell
Well,
us about that.
Well, mostly I was a tax preparer, an enrolled agent, an instructor working for H&R Block. That was for about 30 years, but before that, I have to confess that I worked for IRS for 10 years as a revenue agent. And I've also taught classes at the junior college level in various things like sociological statistics. If you like statistics, you would like that course.
So you were really a math kid.
Well, not really. I feel I'm a social science kid,
Okay.
but not a kid anymore at 91.
And in Laguna Woods Village, you do more than concerned citizens activities. You're still,
Well, we have a lot of clubs here, but I'm not as active in the other clubs as I am in Concerned Citizens. but I do really think we have some wonderful clubs. The computer club, the film club, I've been active in that. I like the cat club because I have a cat.
You have a beautiful cat.
Yeah. Right.
And you really have had a very active and rewarding life story. And as they say, thank you for sharing. But now we want to get back to concerned citizens. We have two important September meetings coming up.
Right.
Listen.
The first is our annual meeting on the Supreme Court. That's on Tuesday, September 3rd, 7 p.m. at Clubhouse 7. Come early for refreshments. We'll hear from constitutional law professor Majo Mate on where Roberts is taking the court. Now, the second meeting is going to be in Clubhouse 1 at 2 p.m. on September 19th, and that's our Peace Day program, but you're going to talk about that in the second part of this program.
Our second guest,
Right.
who is delightful, will fill us in. But I think that the Supreme Court meeting always has a very strong audience. Tell us about membership now.
Well, of course, we welcome members, and we need the support of like-minded residents here. Our annual dues are $20 for individuals, $30 for households. We offer a bargain starting in September, so if you pay your dues from September or at any time this year, you're actually paid up for all of next year. And you receive the newsletter, attend our membership parties, and generally participate in our functions.
Where can our viewers get more information about our activities?
Notices of the meetings from flyers, the Globe, the monthly newsletter, and our own web page. We have a wonderful web mistress, Judy Northrup.
Okay. Now, can someone contact you directly?
Yes, my email is pnelson@comline.com, and my phone number is 949-235-7171.
Thank you so much, Pat.
Quite well.
It's been great to hear your story. Now there will be a brief pause. When we return, we will meet our second Concerned Citizens member, Latifa Taormina.
Welcome to South County Lexus.
As our guest, you'll find a different customer experience.
And a remarkable selection of luxury, craftsmanship, and performance, all with exceptional values. Whether you prefer to lease or finance, we have your best interests in mind. You're invited to discover an extraordinary buying and ownership experience. At South County Lexus, different is amazing.
Welcome back. I'm Kiana Lee. Today, we're talking with Dr. Christine Chung of 7 Day Dental. Today's topic is bad breath. Doctor, what do we need to know about bad breath? Mom.
Oh, sorry. Bad breath is caused by poor oral hygiene, which eventually leads to dental, gum disease, and decay. It's an easy fix.
Thank you, doctor. So don't wait, people. Come on in and get your 7 Day Dental smile.
So we're back now to our program Concerned Citizen Speaks. And it's my pleasure to introduce Latifa Taormina.
Thank you.
Our second guest. Welcome, Latifa.
Thank you. Thank you,
Now,
Diane.
Latifa is producing our Peace Day program. And over the years, you've had many experiences with peace projects and peace groups. Take us on the journey from those times to culminating in working for Peace Day with concerned citizens.
Well, my story is similar to Pat's in the sense that I was involved with a lot of peace activities in the 60s and the 70s. But really, it was in 2012 that the journey you speak of kind of began. Because at that time, I encountered this website called Peace One Day. And it was started by a person named Jeremy Gilley. And Jeremy Gilley had this whole vision that we could have a day when nobody fought. The one day when nobody fought. What would that do for building world peace in the world? And he knew the UN had a peace day, but they didn't really have a fixed calendar date. So he started working on that with the UN, lobbying, got all kinds of people like the Dalai Lama, all kinds of people on his side. And in 2001, because the UN had established a peace day in 1981, but they didn't have a set date. So it was 2001 that they fixed the date at September 21st. So that is the UN's official International Day of Peace. Of course, we're here in Laguna Woods, and you can't always get something on a specific date. It has to be when the room is free. So we're celebrating on the 19th of September, but Peace Day itself is in fact on the 21st of September. But back to this website and what turned me on about it.
How it began for you.
Yes, how it began for me. Is one of the things he was asking on this website is, who are you going to make peace with? And all this time I'd been signing petitions and marching on other people's marches, but that question was giving me agency. What could I do for peace? Who are you going to make peace with? And the other thing that was on his website was he was inviting NGOs to join up with him and do a Peace Day event in their own community. And at the time, I had a job in Austin, Texas, I was executive director of an arts service organization there. But I was also volunteering for this little tiny NGO. And I was like, we're a nonprofit, what do they call it, non-governmental organization. And so I signed up. And there was you click, and you have to fill out a form. And I'm going down and filling out the form. And it says, what will you do for Peace Day? What will our little organization do? And Poems for Peace popped into my head, just out of the blue.
Poems for Peace.
Poems for Peace. I'd never thought of doing any such thing before, but that's what came, and I wrote it down. And then I got an answer back from Jeremy Gilley. He sent us marketing material. He said he'd put it on our website. Well, then we had to do it. Fortunately, I knew the arts community well, so I called a director friend of mine, and he said, I think that's a great idea. So he organized it. I got a theater to give us space. I got some marketing people to do the marketing for us. I got a grant from the city, and we did this thing called Poems for Peace. About maybe 160 people came, but they were very touched. So it was like, this makes a difference. So then I thought, well, who else is in Austin's a big city? Who else is doing things for Peace Day?
For Peace Day.
And so I started meeting with other organizations, and we called it Austin Peace Talks. And we met on a regular basis. And by the following year, we had an 11-day citywide collaborative celebration of Peace Day that we called Peace Day Austin. And all these different organizations did things. And it culminated with the City Hall, the mayor sending doves into the air. It was a wonder, and they're still doing it. 1 million people have become involved with Peace Day in Austin.
In Austin.
Yes, and for the little NGO that started Poems for Peace, 14 different countries have been doing Poems for Peace events. So
what a story.
But that was that story, and then I'm here, and suddenly I hear about this Concerned Citizens group, and they're putting on an event with Paula Garb. And her whole mission is peace building. So I went, and she was
You went to our meeting.
I went to the meeting to hear her. And then afterwards, I went up to Pat, who you just had on the program, and said, I've been involved in doing peace activities in Austin. Would you be interested in doing something here with your organization? So she invited me to a meeting. And so I went to their meeting, but before I went to the meeting, I looked at their website. And that's when I saw that peace was in their founding documents.
Concerned citizen, yay.
Yes, so I got all excited. So I went to this meeting. The other thing that I loved about it, you know, I'm 85 and I was the youngest person at that meeting. They certainly don't believe you're ever too old to do anything. So that part really thrilled me. And I had to get involved with them. I mean, who could not help
I'm so
but
glad
this?
you did. What a wonderful set of
And
circumstances.
so then, you know, when I got to the meeting, I asked them, well, what did they feel would be really, really important?
Now, excuse me, this is the program committee
Yes.
of
Oh, that's right.
concerned citizens.
That's right, the program, and it was at Margaret Perlman's house.
Uh-huh.
And here's this beautiful artwork all over her house. She's 100 years old. I couldn't believe it. And she's taking the notes and she's sending off messages by email to everybody. It's so inspiring to see all these people not giving up on things, ever, not saying I'm too old. They were inspiring to me.
Okay, I am inspired listening to you. Now tell us in detail what to expect September 19th.
Well, first I have to tell you what the key was that I got at this meeting,
Yes.
which was I asked them what they felt would be important to include in any kind of celebration of Peace Day that concerned citizens is behind. And they felt one of the most important things was the UN's Declaration of Human Rights. And that was put together way back in 1948 after these terrible wars and terrible things had happened. And they reminded me that the preamble to the United Nations Declarations of Human Rights, which Eleanor Roosevelt was part of creating, that it says that the words are that here it says whereas the recognition of the inherent dignity and the equal and inalienable rights of every single member of the human family, everyone, the recognition of that is the foundation of peace and justice and freedom. So,
Amen.
how couldn't you include that? So
What
we were
else
on.
is-
So then it was a go, and I didn't know a whole lot of people in the village. Rita Rabinowitz, who is a real networker, and she was there at that meeting. So she helped me start to meet people, and then they helped me meet people, and then pretty soon I met Carol Chalin. Well, Carol Chalin is a theater person. I'm a theater person. We hit it off, and she is the director of this program. And I sent her material, but she knew people. Oh,
What
this will be good for
on the program.
It's music, songs, and readings, and poetry, poems, and we also have these Tibetan peace flags that are going to be a display of Tibetan peace flags. So Carol knew all these people to do this. So Carol is putting the program together. We even have a song we're doing that is kind of based on the song the Monkees used to do, I'm a Believer, because if you look at the Concerned Citizens website, they say, I believe, I believe,
Yes.
So we changed the words a little bit.
So the theater people like David Deering will be on the program.
and David Deering is going to be dealing with the Declaration of Human Rights. So we have people from the Old Pros, we have people from the Theater Guild, and all kinds of things are happening.
You know, we do have to give the logistics.
Oh,
September 19th,
yes,
Thursday at 2 to 4
Yes.
in Clubhouse 1, the main lounge.
and the refreshments will be before the whole event.
And some refreshments.
Yes,
It will be a marvelous celebration. Mark that date down, people.
yes.
Latifah, you have a fascinating and varied background. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, I also come from a big family, and we moved all over the place because my father was in the Navy, and so I spent every year somewhere else. And so that got me into plays because I found out that was the fastest way to meet people. Because I have to move and find who are the new people. And so by the time I was in college, I decided I really wanted to be an actress. But I waited till I graduated. But I got a degree in something else just in case. And then I went to New York to give it a go. And I started getting parts in summer stock and things like that, and taking acting classes. And I was working for an off-Broadway producer by 1961. And Alan Arkin, who was a friend of mine, we'd known each other at Bennington, he calls me up out of the blue, and he has this audition for me to go audition for someone named Alan Meyerson, who was directing the Chicago company of Second City at the time.
And from Second City, we're back in the 60s with
Yes.
the protests.
Yes. And then Alan Meyerson and I fell in love, and we decided to start our own place. So we went to San Francisco. We raised $60,000. We were two strangers. We raised $60,000 and started a theater of our own because we wanted to pay actors equity rates. And
your improv work really was very political.
Yes, we trafficked in political satire. And so we became involved with all the protest movements. We participated in them. In the lobby of our theater, we did satirical news posters. We didn't have pictures of the actors. We had pictures of big blow-ups of crazy news items so people would know what was going on. And then it's like we say we opened the doors in the 60s, walked in. But the thing that was exciting to me was that just as the Beats had kind of come up with a new literary movement to sort of make us rethink our values, we were kind of doing that in theater in the moment of right now. We were an ensemble like jazz musicians playing together, and we could respond.
And you could do contemporary issues.
Yes.
And you also joined an interdenominational spiritual group which led you to Indonesia.
Yes.
And your peripatetic journey over the years finally brought you here to Laguna Woods Village. I'm so glad.
Thank you.
And your story is amazing. You had so many talents. You met so many challenges. And I know you're writing a memoir book.
Yes.
And I can't wait to read it.
Thank you.
So thank you, Latifa, for being here today. You're inspiring.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching us. And please join us, come to our happenings. We welcome you, and I hope to see you soon.